Hi everyone, it's Wendy. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for the lovely comments on the previous videos while we were making this book together. It is a really easy process, but the results I think are pretty fabulous, when you give it a go, so please give it a go. So what I thought we would do today is that we would look at just maybe doing a little something extra on the covers. I often like to put something that just kind of covers part of the spine a little bit. It's just something I think adds interest, and I've been highly, highly influenced by the absolutely fabulous Rachel of Roxy Creations. So thank you, Rachel, so much for your, well, first of all, your friendship, because she's a lovely, lovely friend. She's a friend to all of us, but she's been a friend of mine for some time. So thank you so much, Rachel. And I have this blue embroidery. It's a machine embroidery, but it's still, I believe it's machine. Yeah, it's machine embroidery, but I think it's quite lovely, and I think it might look really nice on here. So I'm just going to attempt to just trim it down a little. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of the sound of when you rip fabric. Just love it. So I'm wondering about, like, I want to cover, I don't want to cover the, like all of this gorgeous spine. I want to still be able to see it. So I think I don't mind. No, I'm going to do this. We're going to cut this down, or attempt to make it a little bit smaller. So yeah, I think about what I might want as a focal point, and then I work from there. So I'm just going to attempt to tear that. That got caught up on the little bit of stitching there, and I didn't have any momentum to get through the next one. So let's just cut here. How's everybody doing? I hope you are well. We are doing terrific. You can probably hear my husband's upstairs practicing the mandolin. So I think that looks great. I wonder if I would prefer to cut it out rather than keep it. Let's wait and see. Okay, so I have some pieces of lace or linens. This is lovely. These are, I think, all from, they're all from Joyce. Joyce is Everlasting. Look at that. That one's kind of like a heart. But I think that might be too solid for what I'm wanting to do. This is really lovely. This is some very, very pretty. Just looking at which is the correct side. You know what? I think you could choose your preference. I like this because it makes it look more like a flower. So we could put a little bit of this somewhere, and then that on top. I don't want that to come out that way. I think that's the wrong side, to be honest. I do not know. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now. I've got these little bits of lace as well, and that's very pretty. You can just come over a little bit. I don't want to take up all of that blue. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I think Rachel did this in a recent one of her videos, and it looked so nice. So Rachel, you are inspiring me to do this. So I'm going to go for it. So yeah, we are having a nice weather week. No more like very cold weather. We're having a little bit, it gets cold a little bit, but it's not too bad. So I hope you guys are having good weather as well. Let me see if I've got any grandkid stories. Actually, I have one. When William was here, the grandkids, we have Caesar Sunday for Caesar salad, And, I make make a full meal. And I often cook meat for everyone, even though Mr. Journal Adventure and I don't eat meat. We haven't for, 9 years now, I think. Anyway, and I make a dessert. I'm known for my cakes in particular. So, anyway, Will and his mom and dad come over. Usually they're here about an hour before everyone else, which is awesome. Just some one-on-one time with Will, because once his cousins get here, he, of course, wants to spend time with them. So anyway, and William is 19 months. Yeah, I think that might work a little bit better. So anyway, William was here, and I gave him some strawberries. There were some really nice strawberries at the grocery store. I'm just going to cut this. So I gave him a little container of strawberries, and I know last year he was a fan of strawberries, but he hasn't had them for a while. So I got the wrong thing. I picked up the wrong one. So I put the strawberries in a little bowl for him, and he started, he didn't eat any. He just thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just serve everybody. So it was the sweetest little thing. He went around and he gave everyone a strawberry, and he was like, look at me we were making of him and telling him how sweet he was to do that, and what a good little fella, and all of this great stuff. And then at the end of it, there was one left. He literally had none. And he put the one strawberry in his mouth, and he started to chew, and his face, it was like that mind-blown kind of look. He was like, what? His eyes got really big. And he ate the strawberry, and he turned around, and he went to the fridge, and he just kept tapping on the fridge door. I want more. I want more. So I thought that was adorable. Okay, I've got a piece of, I think this is Laguna cloth for cross stitching. This is the cloth. My husband has done heritage not journals. What has he done, Wendy? He's done heritage stockings for all of the kids, all of us, and the kids and our grandkids. So we have another grandchild on the way, guys. William's going to have a brother or a sister. So we're super excited about that. And William is, this is the, what he cross stitches on, and it's 18 point, and I think there's 18 woven strands per square inch, and it is really small. It's the only thing he cross stitches. He just does that for the fam. He's one of these things he's done. He's, I have to say, I think it's pretty awesome. I am going to put it on that side, I think. That's an awful lot of the same line, isn't it? Okay, so we will have it go over a little bit. Maybe have this go like that. This is going to go over here, I think. And then, do I still want to put this on here? I like that. I think that looks nice, and it's not too much, I don't think. And I like that this is going to come over a little bit. So shall we do it? I have that as well, but I might put a piece of that on the back. All right, let's do this. So the first thing we want to do is, so if, for example, when you set something up and you're afraid you're going to forget what it looks like, take a photo of it with your phone, and then you should be good to go. So I'm going to use my glue, my tacky glue, and I'm just going to put some on here like so, and I'm going to I'm going to attach this bit and try and get it fairly thin. It will dry clear, and I'm just going to set that on there like that. And I just want to get that down so that I get a better idea of where this is meant to go. So I'm going to do that fairly thin as well. Of course, I went over where I need it to go, but there's nothing wrong with that. Grab a wet wipe. Sorry for all the noises. Oh, I forget which one of you lovely viewers said, I always comment about, I hope you don't mind this is turning into an ASMR video. And someone said I was their go-to. Who knew I was their go-to for ASMR? So thank you. That was really, really sweet. So this is not a super wet one. This is a package of wet ones or wipes that have gotten a little bit dry, and that's perfect. So if you have some that get a little bit dry, put them in a plastic bag and hold on to them for this sort of purpose. If it's super wet, then it can take a lot of the color off your book, and you might not. You might want that. You might want to grunge it up that way, but that's not what I was hoping to achieve with this one. So I'm just gonna get this glue here, fold that over, and it helps you push it down onto the surface. I just kind of tap it and pick up the extra glue, and it helps you put it down on the surface as well, so you can push a little bit more with that. Okay, so we've got this piece, and then we want this one, and I want it to come over a little tiny bit onto the cover. So I'm just looking at how high up I have to go. So I'm going to come over this a little bit and over that a little bit. This glue flows really nicely. So if it gets a bit thick, I can just move some of that glue over to the back side of the journal cover. So for me, I do this after I have all of my signatures in. Did I show you the third signature was in? Oh man. Okay. Well, I will show you once we have this bit done. So you really want to press that down. Love that beautiful mushroomy color. It's just lovely. And that's going to come to just over here. So I don't need a whole lot more glue. I've got lots still on my fingers. I'll move that around. Make sure I have oops, I'm going to knock this down again. Just want to make sure I have it on the thread where we sewed in our signatures. Look at this thread. I said thread and it decided to stick on me. So I can come up here a little bit and stick this down. And then after it's dry, like I just like to rub and make sure it's hitting on top of those threads. After it's dry, you can come back and put a little more glue under those if you want. It's totally up to you, and it really depends on what kind of look you're trying to achieve. So I'm just going to try and wipe off my finger a little bit. Okay. So this, I want it here so that it comes over the side a little bit. I think so. I think that would look nice. And you know what? I'm a big fan of having some, I'm just going to pull, I have a box under here. Big fan of having some ticking. And I don't want to use, I have blue ticking, but I don't want to use the blue ticking. So I have some black and white ticking. And this is ticking that I got from the fabulous Vernie at Triple V Vintage. So I'm wondering if I want a little piece. Let me just, right here, a thin piece. So if I were to put like a thin piece coming out like that, does that look goofy? Or up like that, and then that comes over like this. That doesn't look so bad. I kind of like that, and it doesn't take anything really away. So let's do that first. And then we'll put on the flower. I mean, I actually think this is pretty as is without the flower. I think that's really fun. Am I having second thoughts about the flower? No, I'm going to go for it. I think it's going to be pretty. So I'm going to put the glue on the back here. And just try to work towards the edges, and then I'm going to smush it around with my finger here in a second. And we'll add some more, like a little bit more fabric to the back. Let me see. Do I want a little piece of paper behind this? I think I do. I'm going to grab a piece of paper. And set that down. I'm just going to move the glue around. Those are just some postcards that I'm going to make. And the fact that I've got a little bit of glue potentially on them is not going to hurt them at all, because I'll just cover those bits if there's a bit of glue on, like hard. If it's a clump of glue, that's a problem, but if it's just flat glue that's dried there, I'm not worried about it. So that's still fine. Very little happened there. And let's see. I'm thinking I want it to just kind of, I want to see that stripe, and I want this all to come down like so. And I love that that's come around the corner. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm so happy I put it on. Just thinking, where's the other part of that black stripe? Okay, so I'm just rubbing it to see if I can get it to just rest there nicely. Take the extra glue, all these little bits that are stuck up, we can put glue on them later. I just actually run art glitter glue under those little pieces. Okay, so that's the front. I wanted to put something, these lots of strings, still have a gluey finger. I wanted to put something on this. This is damaged here, so I'm going to put this narrow piece here. It's just it almost looks like it's been chewed. I'm pretty certain it hasn't been chewed, but it looks like it has been. So I'm just going to run that there and right onto the edge. And I can go up a little bit more. And I'm just going to set that there like that. Press it, set it here. Okay, and then we will put more glue here and run it over the edge. And I think that will look really, really pretty. I've got glue drying on my finger. Yikes. Okay, making sure I've got the glue where I need it to be. You don't need an awful lot for things to stick down. So that's great. Super. It's a pretty feature on the inside page as well. So this is the last signature sewn in. I told you I was going to show you. So we've got all, oh, look at that. Attempting, it was attempting to, so stowaway on the cover. Really very, very pretty. So I think I want to put something here. Now I did use this. Okay. It's there. I could put something like that there. Just to, or is that going to look goofy? Because we have because it stops right there. I wonder if I just put something like this here. There's that one. Or I have these, but I don't think I would use both. No, just one. Sorry, picking off glue. Let me see, is there something else? I also have this. Could put a little piece. It's very white, but there's quite a bit of white on that. Let me just check my bag. I have a bag of like loose laces that, for use, especially when I do snippets and things like that. There's that. I like the color of that. It's a bit thicker than I usually want. That's not to say that it's not okay to use. Oh, okay, this is what I'm going to use. I love using a little tiny bit. I'm going to move this out of the way. Move these for future use. Dropping my glue stick. But I'm a huge fan of using Battenberg lace. Love it. So if I just put a piece of Battenberg lace up here, then that to me is lovely. Sorry, you don't want to see me peeling glue off my finger. Okay. Good. But I'm moving it out of the way so that I have a spot to actually add. I have a tool, my finger, for doing this. Okay, so. Ooh, that came out. All right. That came out faster than I wanted it to necessarily. So I know I'm going to need a little bit more than that, but we can start with that and set this down like that. And we can push it down into the book. And then this gives me an idea of how much more I need to be doing. Okay. Push that down. This can come down here a little bit more. Okay. So there's quite a bit of interest on this so far. Pulling up threads, and you can always go back and add more glue if you need, like if there's an edge up. That tends to be where I might put a little bit of art glitter glue, but we'll set that down there. And here, this is down nicely. Just going to set that there. So that's the back, and this is the front. Really, really enjoying the front of this. This is looking very pretty. And then you can just take some glue and rub it underneath the bits that might be standing up a bit. So I think that's super pretty. Okay, how are we for time? Oh, that was good timing. It does take a bit of time to put together a cover or to decorate a cover. For me, I just, it's one of the things I enjoy the most. And sometimes I will put, like almost like a botanical journal card, if you will, on the front as a title bit. But I think this is really, really good as is. So, yeah. So I think what we'll do is we'll make a little bit of ephemera. We'll do, some of it I'll do with you, and others I'll do on my own. And then I do promise, at the very least, to do a video where we put some ephemera in her. So I think that would be fun to do. So yeah, I'm just looking at where these little bits, I just take my art glitter glue, mostly because it's so much easier to maneuver for the smalls. Sorry. And just going underneath like so. And I kind of like that those aren't all up. Some of them are a bit fluffy, and I think that's fun. Okay, that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this fun little, let's make a hardcover journal. It really should be an antiquarian cover. Let's take an antiquarian book and turn it into a journal. Maybe I'll change the title of my video. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and will join me as we continue the process. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.